Hello, I'm Sean Kent Hayashi with Saucon Valley Cute and Cuddly Schnauzers and sometimes a Schnoodle. This little Schnauzer is Luca. Luca is a chocolate and tan Schnauzer, and in this video I'm going to show you his Embark DNA results. What a beautiful boy you are. Mwah. This is my Embark Portal where all of my breeding dogs have their report. Let's look at Luca's report. This is the first screen that we see when we click on the report, and we see that Luca is a 100% miniature Schnauzer. For Luca's health results, Embark tested 274 genetic health risks. They found two results that they say I need to know about. The first one is one that is very common in smaller dogs, and it's called ALT activity. Let's see. Embark describes ALT activity here. And the way I like to think about ALT, based on how it's been described to me from several people, including veterinarians and people who have much deeper expertise in ALT and data like this than I do, we just need to know that his baseline for ALT activity is very low. My metaphor for this is I happen to be a person who has very low blood pressure. So if at some point I were to have a blood pressure escalated number, we would need to take that more seriously because my baseline is low. It's the same thing here. This is not a health risk. It's not a diagnosis of a problem. It's just merely letting us know that if for some reason we needed in his future to test his ALT levels, we should know that they would have been low as a baseline. The second thing that Embark is pointing out is something I have never seen before. It says copper. Look at this. Let's see what this is. Embark is saying that this is considered beneficial and may best be described as helpful modifier in harmful copper toxic situations. But it goes on to explain that this is really not something I need to be worried about at all, and he has a lower risk for copper toxicity. And so, again, not something that we would have to be concerned about. The next section of the report shows the breed-related results, and you can see that he is clear. He does not carry one copy, in other words, of any of the known issues in Schnauzers or any of the 268 other issues. Wow. I always love this when I have dogs that have this fabulous DNA result. If you're wondering what the breed relevant areas that Embark focuses on, you can see them here. And again, you can just see that Luca is clear for all of these. Frankly, all of my dogs are clear for all of these. The next part of the report that I look at has to do with the genetic traits that help me to understand what Luca can produce when we breed him. So Luca has a capital E and a little e. So he is able to produce puppies, if bred to the right female, that are both dark colored or light colored. So if a dog has a capital E, like this that you see here, they will have dark hair, meaning it could be black or chocolate. That's determined by another one of the traits we will look at. The little e is called the recessive E, and if I bred him to a female who had two little e's, for example, a large portion of their puppies would be light colored, or what are called recessive red. On the K locus, he is KYKY. And dogs with the KY genotype will show a coat color pattern based on the genotype they have at the A locus. Pattern that you see in him, sometimes referred to as, in this case, liver and tan, or sometimes you'll hear people refer to this as phantom when that color is very bright, when the lighter color is very bright. That is coming from the AT pattern in his coat. And you can see here the description of what happens here with the A locus. But again, because he's KY, it is being used the AT to create that ability to have the two colors, the black and tan or the chocolate and tan, and the intensity loci. So this has to do with the red intensity, and we see that he is what's called an intermediate red. And now let's look at his results here. This is very exciting to those of us who are intentionally breeding for darker red colors. We can see that Luca has a great collection here of reds. If I breed Luca to a female who is a red here, there is a great likelihood that their puppies will be dark red. Got the D locus, and this tells us that he is not dilute. So the dogs that are blue or lavender in color would have the recessive Ds here. You can see the brown hair and skin. We know this just by looking at him, that he's going to be recessive on this particular trait. So he has two lowercase b's. If he had a capital B here, he would be black instead of brown. He does not have a saddle. This S locus is very important to me. You see here that he has two capital S's. This means that Luca is only able to have solid color dogs, or dogs that look like him. So that the chocolate and tan, for example, in the places where it is on him, he's not able to have a party colored dog. So no matter who I breed him to, even if I bred him to a dog that is a party color dog, he will pass on that dominant solid. No Merrill. I don't have any dogs that have any Merrill. No Roan. No Harlequin. No Panda pattern. And then there are other things that show up in the Embark results, like furnished. All my dogs have furnishing, meaning mustache, beard, eyebrows, likely long coat or growing coat might be another way of saying that. We call this non-shedding here whenever it gets this result. Likely to have some wave in his coat. Very unlikely to be hairless, and not likely to be albino. So next we see things like muzzle length, tail length, hind dew claws. He does not have the issue, the IVDD issue, not likely to have blue eyes. Body size. I will tell you that Embark is traditionally way off for me on the predicted weights of my dogs. So when this says 17 pounds, usually Embark is way over, and I would predict that he would probably be somewhere between 12 and maybe 12 to 15 pounds. So you can see here the different components of this report. One of the things that I appreciate about using Embark is that with my dogs, I can say pair predictor, and now I can pick a sire, and let's say Luca, and let's say that I was looking at breeding Luca and Burberry. I can calculate the health, and so what we learn is that all the puppies would be clear on all the traits. We can also see the predicted coefficient of inbreeding. We can see that if we were to breed Luca and Burberry together, the coefficient of inbreeding would be 22%, and that is less than the average breed coefficient of inbreeding, which is 26%. And so that is a match that I would do. It is likely that I might breed Luca to Burberry. I use Dog Breeder Pro software when I want to look at the trait information and get very clear on what it will produce in puppies. So I mentioned Luca and Burberry. If I were to breed them together, given their traits that I enter from Embark, this is what the puppies would look like. 18.8% would be solid brown. 18.8 would be brown with tan points. 18.8 would be brown with some minor white. 18.8 brown and tan with minor white. And then you see that would be 25% would be recessive red. In other words, light color. These dogs could be red with a brown nose. This is what my YouTube channel looks like from a laptop or a computer. When you are here, if you click on the playlist button, you will discover that I have lots of playlists that will help you to navigate the 600 plus videos that I have. One of the playlists that I have is specifically about using Embark DNA in breeding puppies. You can click on View Full Playlist here to see the whole playlist. I also have another playlist called A Day in the Life of a Dog Breeder. As a modern dog breeder, I share in this playlist what my life is like. In this playlist, I'm sharing the DNA tools. Give my website a look-see. Check out the playlists as a way to better navigate my 600 plus videos about my life breeding Schnauzers. Luca has a sister, a full sister. Her name is Coco. Up next, in my next video, I'm going to introduce you to Coco and her Embark DNA results. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. We love sharing our puppies, our dogs, and their Embark DNA results. And we'd love you to join us in our community. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. A thumbs up means the world to us. Thank